Good morning, happy New Year, Humanitarian Television, and welcome to this first edition of your program week review for the year 2020. As usual, the program goes just in the first part of our program. We are going to do a recap of the news that ran throughout this week, and in the second part of our program, we shall receive a guest with him. We are going to talk of the upcoming legislative and municipal elections scheduled for February 2020 with Mr. Emmanuel Tonga. Next on the list, Vanessa Balugok is going to join us for her rubric entitled The Chronic. And the last but not the least, we shall have this segment known as No Comment. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go far. We shall be right back just after this pause. We open our program in politics. The head of state, President Paul Biya, has on Thursday, January the 9th, received a New Year wishes. The ceremony that kicked off at 12 a.m. started with a New Year wishes from members of the diplomatic corps headed by the ambassador of Gabon to Cameroon, His Excellency Paul Patrick. Before, during his speech, he congratulated the head of state, Paul Biya, for the holding of the major national dialogue, which, according to him, continues to bear good fruit, among other things. After the presentations of the New Year wishes by the members of the diplomatic corps, the constitutional corps followed. The ceremony was highly attended by national dignitaries, all dressed in official attires. Equally, phones were not allowed into the Unity Palace like the previous years. The presentation of New Year's wishes to the head of state, President Paul Biya, comes to mark the start of this year 2020 in Cameroon. On to other things that still marked this week, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about security. At least 5 armed separatist fighters have dropped their arms in Meme Division, southwest region of Cameroon, according to the senior divisional officer of Meme, Tundong Chamberlain. He adds that these ex-fighters will be transported to the Boya to join their peers in the DDR center before the end of this week. He used the opportunity to call on all those still in the bushes to drop their arms and return to the Republic. On to the upcoming legislative and municipal elections here in Cameroon. In a bid to frustrate the twin elections, the mayor of Babesi, a locality in the northwest region of our country, has been taken away alongside some of his councillors by some Amazonian fighters. For some weeks now, suspected separatist fighters have reportedly set ablaze a number of establishments, homes of some candidates to the twin poles, wherein some of the preoccupations of the strike is equally to claim some of the things the Amazonian want during for the past 3 years. While some fighters have decided to drop their weapons in the northwest and southwest region of the country, it is not the case for others. Suspected Amazonian fighters have reportedly set ablaze Elegam's head office in Misaje, a town and a commune in Donga Mantung division of the northwest region of Cameroon. Sources say they disclosed the act in a bid to send away a warning saying that there shall be no legislative and municipal elections in in that part of the country. During his traditional end-of-years address to the nation, President Paul Biya has said security measures will be taken, and if needs be, reinforce security in these zones. This in order to ensure all the elections are held and Cameroonians all through the country go to the different polls to exercise their voting right on the coming days. Still to talk about security, following the president's speech to the nation, 350 soldiers have been deployed to the southwest region of Cameroon. They are expected to maintain security before, during, and after the February 9th, 2020 municipal and legislative elections. The soldiers reportedly arrived at Boya, southwest region of Cameroon, on Monday, January 6, 2020. These 350 soldiers were received by Colonel Henry Chinde, commander of the Legend Commandant Officer in Boya. They will be dispatched to the different localities within the southwest region, where their mission will be to secure the lives of the populations. We take you now to a protocol where an attack took place this week. About 11 people and 6 others have been reported dead during an artisanal bomb blast that occurred on Monday, according to Colonel Cyril Atonfangemo of the Ministry of Defense. It wasn't a suicide bomb attack as relayed by many, an unfortunate incident that rather involved 2 little boys. The 2 little boys went to the Ngala periodic market at the Nigeria side of the bridge over River Elbiet between Gamboru in Nigeria and Fotokol in Cameroon with a grenade which finally exploded. Away from politics to talk about this social issue, the protesting PSG holders who organized a sit-down strike at the esplanade of the Ministry of Higher Education for over 3 weeks have put an end to the strike following a compromise arrived at with the Minister of Higher Education, Professor Jacques Famedongo. Speaking to the press after the said compromise was reached at, the leader of the disgruntled PSG holder, Dr. Lekane, disclosed they would all desert the esplanade of the ministry latest Friday morning. This declaration comes after the Minister of State, Minister of Higher Education, Professor Jacques Famedongo, held a meeting with rectors and vice-chancellors of the 8 states universities here in Cameroon. Now we are going to talk about this very shameful act. A Class 6 teacher identified as Kevin Buma is currently under the police custody for allegedly raping 18 minors of his primary school in Bonaberi, Douala Fort subdivision in the littoral region in Cameroon. According to Kwonch Jean-Marie, commander of the Gendarmerie Research Unit, where Kevin Buma is being detained, the latter has admitted he raped 18 minors from his school, whose age range varies from 10 to 14, confessing that he began raping the young girls since November 2019. He is said to have claimed to be controlled by supernatural powers, pushing him into committing the act. Meantime, the Gendarmerie Research Unit in Bonaberi Douala has opened an investigation into this rape case. Viewers of humanitarian television, if you're just joining us right now, we shall move to the other news of program, which is no other than sports. First of all, let's have this transition. On to sports right now. The women's volleyball team of Kenya has dominated Cameroon this Thursday with 3 sets to 2 sets. After a long struggle, Kenya came out successful, winning the lone ticket for the upcoming 2020 Tokyo Olympics. At the end of this tough match, the captain of the Kenya team expressed her satisfaction, and it is in this excerpt that we shall have the opportunity to listen to the captain speaking.
First of all, I want to thank God so much for today's win, and also I want to thank my team for the fighting spirit that they have shown in the court, because now the Cameroon, they were strong, but we thank God for the effort and the power He gave us to play well. It's my fourth time to participate in Olympic qualifiers, but this is the best thing I can say, and this is my birthday month. I think I'm celebrating again my birthday, because my coach, I want to say thank you so much for coming to our team and the spirit and the teamwork that you brought to our team. I think we Africans, we have to believe in our coaches first before we believe in other coaches. Nurture your own coaches, and they will bring home results. I think what we did, we used our young players. As you can see, number 12, number 8, and then number 13, they came in to change the game. Because most like me, most I'm the senior most with Washu, we play most of the time to Cameroon. And then when we use the young players, they make a bit different. And then we have played with Cameroon the whole of last year, and they have just won once. So I think we know how Cameroon played, and we have to use our weapon the way we normally use to win against Cameroon.
That is the captain of the volleyball team for Kenya that was answering to some questions of the press. Moreover, through her voice, the team equally acknowledges the battle with Cameroon wasn't easy, knowing fully well Cameroon went to the court as the reigning champion of the 2019 Women's African Nations Volleyball Championship. The coach of Kenya was equally speaking to journalists. Let's have his excerpts.
Firstly, maybe I will talk generally about today's game. I would like to congratulate once more my players. We came in knowing that this is a strong side. It's a very strong team. Wherever we meet them, it is war. It is not just normal play. And what I can say that I knew that we are going to be under pressure, because Cameroon, they are at home. They are using all efforts, including the funds to support them. And we remain calm all through. We didn't put the players under pressure. The only thing that we did is to have very strong service, so that they cannot operate in the middle, and it was very easy for us to have the good blocks, because side block was easier for us. And this is very important for me, because I wanted to make more history for myself. I have been here, I have met with Cameroon men and women, and I achieved my goals. And I feel proud of myself and my players for giving me this win. It is a sad moment for Cameroon, because they are the host, and wherever I am coach myself, even when I am playing in Kenya, I have the same problem also, under pressure of everyone looking at you, and I'm sorry for Cameroon, but this is the way to go. And I believe that we need to go more to use young players. As you can see, Cameroon and also Kenya, we still have older players. We need to have more percentage of the young players.
The women's volleyball team of Kenya has dominated the African continent since the 90s, winning the Women's Africa Volleyball Championship record 9 times. The girls of Paul Bitok have a record of 12 participation at the Women's African Volleyball Championship and just 3 defeats. So that is that about that. A reminder, now the last but not the least in sport, Kenya has been given the loan ticket to represent Africa for the Olympic game scheduled to take place in Tokyo. Kenya comes out first out of this competition with a total of 11 points. Cameroon occupies the second position with 10 points. Egypt follows with a total of 6 points. Next on the list, Nigeria with 3 points, and Botswana occupies the last position with 0 point. Full stop to part 1 of our program week review. Right now, let's move into the second part entitled The Guest. Good morning, viewers of Humanitarians Television. It's a pleasure once more to meet you in the second part of your program entitled The Guest. Remember, the guest is that part of your program that enables you to know more about a particular topic. And for this edition, we decided to talk about the upcoming legislative and municipal elections that have been scheduled for February. Today, we are going to meet Mr. Emmanuel Tonga, who is the SDF regional president of the Center region. Equally, he is the head of the Fundi legislative. He is here with me, and we are equally in his office. We are going to move right to him, and we shall start with our interview. Just wait for a minute. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for receiving us today.
Thank you.
Once more, you're welcome, sir, and good morning.
Good morning.
Well, why we are here today is to talk about the upcoming legislative and municipal elections in Cameroon, scheduled for February, as we announced to our televiewers in our headline. The first thing we'd like to know is how the Social Democratic Front is preparing for these upcoming elections.
Yes, thank you. Thank you to all the viewers. As you know, the SDF is a 29-year-old party, yes, and is a party who is used to be and to go in election. So the preparations are going on, except some of our candidates in the northwest and the southwest who have difficulties, but in other regions the preparations are going on normally, like we used to do.
Actually, in the Central region is everything. The members of the parties here in the Central region, are they encountering any problem?
For the moment, I think all is going in the Central region. We have no problem here, and even our members, we are just now preparing to go down and touch our militants who will be ready to vote for us in the coming election.
What are some of these strategies the party is already putting in place?
The strategy, our first strategy that we can tell the public and the TVs now is one word: change. Change. Our strategy is going down and start to see the people and tell the people that we need now change. Especially here is that Fundi. Since 38 years, we have only one party who have deputies. And now we want to change because they are doing nothing. They have done nothing for these people. They are telling them the same thing every year, every 5 years. And when they are in the National Assembly, they all disappear, and the people don't see what is changing. No change have occurred during these 38 years with what they have elected.
As if you're just joining us, actually we are with Mr. Emmanuel Tonga, who is the SDF regional president of the Central region here in Cameroon. We equally like to know, President, is this rumor or rather news? We don't all know that the SDF will go or will not participate in the upcoming elections scheduled for this February. Can you throw more light on this?
Yes, you know the SDF has taken position in the two NEC we have had in Douala and in Yaoundé about this election, and the position was clear that if the security situation in the two regions of the northwest and the southwest is not stable, the SDF shall withdraw to this election. You know, the northwest and the southwest is our base. It's the base of SDF. SDF was born in Bamenda. SDF was born in these regions. And when these regions are not in security, how can we go? The 18 parliamentarians we have, 16 are coming from these regions. How can they go and compete if there is not security? As you know today, there is no security in these regions. This is a region where many people are out. The militants are not there, the people are not there. Many people are refugees out of the country, in the country, in other towns of the country. So this is a great problem, and we have, as I have just said, we can withdraw our list, our participation, if the security problems are not stable.
Is the Social Democratic Front reassured after the speech President Paul Biya made on the 31st of December?
No. Biya is saying the same thing every year. Since 38 years we are hearing the same thing. For us, it's now like you hear a music you know. So the SDF was not reassured because Mr. Biya himself don't know about the situation, what is going there around. You can see that there, under there, even the subdivision officers, even the governors, to make a speech, they are going with military panzer. They are going with 10,000 of militaries. How can a normal citizen go under there and make campaign? How? Mr. Biya must tell us how, and we shall going to see. That's what we are waiting to see, if that will be possible. The campaign is beginning at the 25th of January. We shall see if our militants, if our candidates can go down there and make campaign. That's what we are going to see. All what Mr. Biya he was talking is all what he every time says at the 2D. He is in Yaoundé. He has never been there to see what is going on. Every day we have military who are falling. Every day we have the population who are going out. Every day we have houses who are burned by the militaries, by the separatists. No one don't know what is going on there. What Mr. Biya should have said was, I must stop this war. Cameroonians are suffering. Cameroonians are dying. And all those people who are doing this war are Cameroonians. Separatists are Cameroonians. Military are Cameroonians. The population are Cameroonians. And all these regions are suffering.
Now, how did the Social Democratic Front receive the news of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement Party as they decided to withdraw from these upcoming elections? Was it a satisfaction for them?
No, that's our fight in this country is not against the Renaissance, the MSC. Mm-hmm. Our fight since 28 years is to take power, and our fight is the CPDM who is in power. CPTM is in power. As you know, the SDF also, in the two NECs we held, decided not to go to election. But we went to election because our national chairman sent us to election. He said you must go to election. But in our resolutions, we have decided not to go to election. But the national chairman, who is our father, who is our head, who is our guide, told us to go to election, and we does that because we respect him. By the MRC, I think that is their leader who told them not to go, and it's their decision. But for us, the MRC is like us. We must be together to fight and to remove the CPDM who is leading this country since 38 years.
Now the last but not the least question, how do the Social Democratic Front wish these elections to unfold?
We wish that the elections should go in peace. We wish that there should not be struggle, and especially as they used to make to steal the voices of the others. That is all what we wish. We want a clear election, a peaceful election, and so that the results should be respected, so that no one should go ahead of the others to block them, as it used to be, and so that the administration should be neutral. I always tell the administration that you are not the child of the CPDM. You are the administration, and the administration must respect all Cameroonians. And it is the Cameroonians who are going to vote. It's not the CPDM, it's not Mr. Biya. So these people of the administration, these people of Elekam, you must forget that you are not for the CPDM, you are for Cameroonians, and you are for the future of this country. And the future is coming. One day, we shall not have the CPDM in power. We shall have another party, we shall have another government. But the Cameroon will go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel Tonga. And for this upcoming legislative and municipal, we wish the SDF the best.
Thank you. Thank you. I wish that the people should go and vote for us, and we shall bring this change.
Change is what all of us we desire.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the end of exchange with Mr. Emmanuel Tonga. We remind he is the SDF regional president of the center. We have come to the end. Stay with us for a week review part 2. It continues. We are back to this studio, humanitarian tele viewers. That was Mr. Emmanuel Tonga. We're talking about the preparations for the upcoming legislative and municipal elections on the side of the Social Democratic Party. Right now, let's move on to the other segment, which is no other than the Chronic. And for this first edition for the year 2020, we have the privilege to receive Vanessa Balugok. She is here with me today. Good morning, Vanessa.
Good morning, Imelda, and good morning.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, and same to you.
So, how are you starting the new year on your side?
The new year is starting very well. I think I hope it's going to continue like that, because
it's going to continue like
it's going to continue on a good note as it has started. Yes, because the year has really started good, and I thank God for that.
So we would like to know, televiewers equally, what are some of the resolutions you have taken for this new year?
As every year you take resolutions, as you know, and you wish for the best for yourself, for your friends, and for your family. And that is the wish I renewed again this year. In fact, yes. So I wish everything that is best in this world for my family, for my friends, and may God continue blessing and accompanying us.
He will continue to bless and accompany you, Vanessa, as far as you continue to provide us with good information. For this edition in our chronic, we are going to talk of the World War Orphan Days, which is very, very important. We know what our country, Cameroon, is going through, and we know equally that there are some orphans of wars, as it is going on here in Cameroon. And before we get deeper into the topic, we are going to have this element that has been done by Vanessa Balugok. So we are waiting, Mr. Jebini. You have the floor.
The World Orphan Day is celebrated every 6th January. This is a day observed every year. It enables the global communities to recognize the plight of a particular vulnerable group. This day aims at addressing the war orphans. It has become a growing worldwide humanitarian and social crisis. The day equally ensures to voice out the predicaments of war orphans in order to highlight that children growing up in orphanages experience emotional, social, and psychological handicaps. The World Day of Orphans was initiated by the French organization SOS Enfants en Détresse. The usual definition of an orphan is a child who has no surviving parents to take care for him or her, having lost both of the parents either as a result of bereavement or by being abandoned. In the developed countries, orphans are relatively rare, since most children can reasonably expect both parents to survive their childhood. But in countries that have been subjected to war and great epidemics, this is not the case. It is estimated, for instance, that World War II created millions of orphans. Today, in Afghanistan, after nearly 30 years of fighting, there are now over 2 million orphaned children, with over 600,000 of them sleeping on streets. A quarter of all children in Afghanistan died before the age of 5. Which, according to UNICEF, is the 4th highest level in the world. In recent years, the proportion of civilians casualties in armed conflicts have increased drastically. This is now estimated to about 90%, half of whom are children. In the last 10 years alone, some 20 million children have died as a direct result of armed conflict. Many others have witnessed parents and relatives being butchered in most horrible circumstances. Around 20 million children have been forced to flee their homes because of conflicts or human rights violations, and it is estimated that 300,000 boys and girls under the age of 18 are involved in more than 30 conflicts worldwide. Cameroon, on its part, has been a refuge for war-torn neighboring countries like Chad and even those fleeing from the attacks of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Cameroon, on its turn, came under attacks such as the Boko Haram crisis and the Anglophone crisis, which have caused great disability in the country and making children orphans. Who will take care of them? Great question, but which has no appropriate answer. Was this war worth it to cause so much pain to those little ones who will never see their parents again? No, it wasn't. For sure, it wasn't. Thus, the World Day for War Orphans is a day to remember those children. Every one of them is precious, and they all deserve a future that will enable them to fulfill.
We thank Vanessa Balugok for that element. Vanessa would like to know, surely you've done so many researches concerning the World War Orphan Day. Right now, tell us how important is the World Day of Orphans?
For me, this day is important because we need to know the importance of peace, actually. Because if there is peace, there will not be war. There will not be orphans. There will not be children suffering because they lost their parents for this or that war, you see. So we need to cultivate the spirit of peace, unity, and that's the most important thing. Because when our leaders start war, they don't think about these children who may lose their parents and who may be in orphanages, and it's very difficult for them to adapt sometimes. So when we start a war, it's better we think of the consequences before starting something. We should have to think of a solution instead to a problem rather than getting into a war.
So those are Vanessa's last word. Let's think of consequences before even starting war. It is very important for us to always do so. Vanessa, I think we are not yet away from January, and surely you still have some persons that you wish you want to wish them a happy New Year. You can go on.
Okay, I wish a happy new year to my parents, Mr. and Mrs. Balogo, who are in Idea. So my sister Alice Balogo in Douala, another one in Christelle Balogo, who is equally in Douala, Marie-Louise Balogo. In fact, I wish a happy new year to all my family members, to my friends here in Yaoundé, and to you, Imelda.
Thank you, Vanessa Mikoli. Wishing you a happy New Year. Thank you for all the services granted during the year 2019. And I wish 2020 should equally start on a good note. As you said, it has already started. It is not the end of your program, a week review. Be rest assured. We are going to move on to the last but not the least segment of this program, which is entitled No Comment, just for you. Bonne année, Happy New Year as a little cat just reached to all of us, the entire team of Humanitarian Television, the entire team of Equally of Week Review is wishing you a happy New Year. We thank Vanessa Balogok, as Elia said. We thank Michael Dieu Béni. We equally thank William Kamga. We thank Mathieu Tanier. We thank all those who have been participating for this program since the year 2019. 2020 is starting. I hope televiewers, you are still going to remain faithful to your program week review. Don't forget, it is being broadcasted every Saturday when it is exactly 10:30 a.m. Equally, it is being rebroadcasted every Sunday at exactly 1 p.m. Stay blessed, remain blessed, and continue to watch Humanitarian Television programs.